the Overpriced Podcast. And we are Ashley, Ricky, and Ryan, and we are here to talk to you about our ever-evolving world and how to think out of the box.
Think different.
Think different.
Love it. Listen, we have an awesome episode lined up for you today. We have the privilege to bring you two outstanding candidates in the race for mayor of Dover, Ohio, Mr. Shane Gunnoe, as well as Colby Byrom, and cannot wait to get into the questions. I know you guys lined up some great ones, so
yeah, so did you.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because we're not very politically inclined. I mean, we are, but it's very surface level, and that's okay.
That's okay, because a lot of our communities like that. So let's dig into it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right. Let's begin. Welcome back to the Overpriced Podcast, where we are going to encourage you to think different. With that being said, we have the pleasure this morning of being here with our special guest, Mr. Shane Gunnoe. Shane, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely.
Of course. You've been so fun to talk to so far. I was a little intimidated because me and Ashley are like, we know nothing. Yes. But we did some research yesterday and saw just how much of a hard hitter you are and how involved you are in the community.
I like to stay busy.
Yeah, you do. I'm like, oh my God, does he sleep? Does he get naps?
I was saying earlier, I have a very understanding wife and kids.
Yes.
I stay busy, that's for sure.
Shout out to the wife and kids. Wives are, she's
a trooper.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, yeah.
Also, first of all, how are you today?
I'm wonderful.
You doing great?
Yeah, this is great. I love the idea of being here. This is exciting.
Oh,
so
thank you. No, this is our very first episode, so everybody today is just sending us off with a bang, and we really appreciate your time and this is wild. I'm excited. First and foremost, I know it's a vague question, but who is Shane Gunnoe?
Well, I guess I could give you a little bit about myself. So
we would love that.
I grew up in Dover, all but just a handful of years where my mother and father lived out of state. I lived in Dover my entire life, and so graduated in 2001 from Dover High School. Was active, played sports. I'm still a big sports fanatic to this day. Loved played football for Dover and all of those things. Went off to college at Capital University in Columbus, and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. But I like everybody does, I think, at that age, at 18, But knew I always wanted to do something to give back to the community, and always wanted to be involved, and always wanted to be a part of making things a little bit better. That was just part of how I was raised. Finished college, went to work came back home, was fortunate to find a good job, went back in the private sector, where I was in sales and consulting for about 17 years, and decided in 2007 to run for Dover City Council. So at the age of 25, I was elected to Dover City Council. 7 years later, became council president, and then just recently have had the privilege of serving as the mayor of the city of Dover. As we mentioned earlier about my wife, we were married in 2014, Kelsey, and we have two kids, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, Brady and Bristol, that are involved in and attend Dover schools. And so, I'm heavily invested in what the community is going to look like, both as mayor and as a father. What their lives are going to look like in the future, and try and make things a little better for them too.
Yeah, it definitely helps when you have some skin in the game that way. Real quick, just because something you said kind of stuck out, and it's probably kind of unusual that it stuck out. You mentioned you still like to play sports. What?
No.
Oh, no.
My sports name plays are
so you
done.
Don't even like basketball
recreationally
or anything.
The pickup basketball game is one thing.
Yes. I
will still do that.
Yeah.
But the most by and large, I'm now a armchair quarterback, I guess. So to speak.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I could join Ryan at the Y. He shoots some hoops, don't you?
Every now and again, there in the mornings at the Y, have some fun with some. Yes, absolutely.
Almost professional status.
Sometimes you can't walk for a couple days after. But that's part of the deal.
Part of it.
Down to 1 day a week.
Yes. For that exact reason.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you were so young when you got into council, and do you feel like at 18, do you think that's sometimes too young for kids to decide what they want to do for the rest of their lives?
Well, my advice to anybody would be, go out and try and experience different things and decide what your passion is, and find your passion, whatever that may be. Like I said, I knew I wanted to find a way to give back to the community. I knew I wanted to be a part of making our city a better place, our area a better place. And it was, I also am involved in a lot of nonprofit work. The Dover Exchange Club, the Salvation Army, been a member of the Tornado Club, I served as a president of Springdale Health Centers for years. And so really just my passion has been to try and improve things where I can.
Yeah, your list is long. It was so interesting when we were interviewing yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. That's a lot of stuff.
And then I immediately felt exhausted.
I know. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so tired for him. No, you do a lot for the community.
It's lots of coffee some days.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that. I feel that.
Hey, the interesting piece, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you caught that there, but Mr. Shane referenced that he's an armchair quarterback right now, and sounds like so is our $230 million investment.
Yeah.
Same deal.
As a longtime Browns season ticket holder, I feel that pain a little bit.
It hurts.
Specifically, sometimes in the wallet, I guess. But the quarterback. The quarterback for the Browns is not.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he'll be back in the near future.
Correct.
Cross our fingers.
You're not kidding. We need it, and playoffs are on the horizon. Got to get back.
That's right. There's always hope, right?
You're not kidding. Absolutely.
Like we said, we want to create a positive environment.
Yes.
And uplifting.
Sorry, I won't.
So don't bring the factory of sadness into it right now.
Sorry.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry.
Hey, we're encouraging those that think different, though. Okay, so with that being said, Shane, thank you so much again. And so, kind of diving right into this, how would you attract more business to the city of Dover and really help with investments into the city?
Well, I think we're already trying to do that.
Good.
We've been out very well, as you may know. We have our first new industrial park in the north end of the city, which has been announced, and that's probably the first piece of significant developable ground of that size in a number of years. So that's a positive thing, and we've been actively working to lay the foundation for running city utilities and infrastructure and doing all the things that we need to do to make that site attractive. And we're, as mayor, my job is to work closely with folks in the economic development world, the Tuscarawas County folks, as well as private developers, and reach out to them, see what we can do. I'm going to say several times a week, I'm on the phone with a business leader talking about how we get them to grow and expand. And there are a number of positive things that are on the horizons. Unfortunately, I can't, there's confidentiality with some of those things, but there are a significant number of things that are on the horizon that would be a great thing, and what we've seen also is increasingly is an issue with housing and the availability of housing that has become an important part towards attracting new business. And so we're working aggressively to try and expand housing. We've laid down or in the process of planning a new development again on the north end of town, and that's a significant component of it. But as mayor, my job is to go out and really work with the business community. I attend Chamber of Commerce after hours, talking to our small business leaders, and probably in the last year, I've probably made the rounds at least once to all of our largest employers in the community, talking about how do we grow jobs locally, in addition to the ones we're looking to bring from the outside.
Definitely read that yesterday. That's like one of your biggest.
That's a very big priority.
Yes,
because if you're going to have people who, want to move to the area, you've got to have a sustainable, family sustaining type of income for them. So that's really been my mission in the last year and a half.
Absolutely.
Go out and try and grow jobs in the community.
Well, if you
have people been responsive to that?
Yes.
Business you're talking
to? The businesses have been very responsive. Like I said, there are a number of significant developments that are in various stages of planning.
Awesome.
And so I'm hopeful that there's going to be good things to come for the city of Dover.
Oh, sure. That north end of Dover is looking good.
Really does.
Yeah. Yep. Looks real nice. If you
But I guess I should also say our downtown. I mean, we're looking at. We set aside city money to match for exterior improvements. In the downtown area.
That's awesome.
We're looking at laying new sidewalks and anything we can do, adding parking in places to try and pull people into the downtown area. So you've got to work everywhere.
I like that you brought up the parking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Dover, I mean, Philly's got the square, but Dover is so like has just as much to offer. Like down there, especially on 3rd Street, it's just so cute down there in the center. I don't know. I love to hear that you're also trying to improve downtown as well.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Switching gears a little bit here to the safety side of things, given the most recent tragedy in Maine, do you have any strategies in place currently, or what's to come, I guess, in regards to reducing crime?
So we've undertaken a number of initiatives in the last year. First, we've increased the training that our police department is receiving. They have done active shooter training and all these additional trainings in the last year. We're also I've been a big proponent of utilizing technology to increase the efficiency of the officers that we have. We've added they call mobile data terminals to the police cruisers, and what those do is it allows them to spend less time writing reports in the office, less time handwriting out warnings or whatever. They can do it all right there in the cruiser, so they spend more time on the road. There are more man hours on the road, makes them more available. And we're always looking to improve our equipment. We added a school resource officer to better protect our schools in the last year.
The very first one.
First one in the city's history. That was one of my first priorities. So that
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it was important, and he serves as beyond the protection aspect. He serves as a great liaison with the schools, a great role model for our children. And it's just been a wonderful development partnership with the Dover schools.
Oh, for sure. Them resource officers are just they're there for more.
They're outstanding.
And then I guess the last component is, as we talk about technology, is we're in the process of adding public Wi-Fi to the parks and to the downtown. And one of the key things about that is it allows us to add security cameras. So officers at dispatch can see what's going on at the park in various places in real time. Potentially what's going on downtown. We're adding cameras to the park now. And when we do the downtown section, which is phase 2, which should be in the spring, I would expect there to be something similar there. So it allows us to be more efficient with the people we have and more responsive. Hopefully something of that scale never occurs in Dover, but even something's more minor, it allows us to be on the scene quicker and make better utilization of what we have.
A better preparedness for sure.
Wow, I love your
incredible.
Proactiveness of safety over the past year. It's so big in this world anymore.
It's imperative. It really is.
In addition to getting these cameras done, which is fantastic, what's going to be your first big objective?
Well, so I guess this is hard to say. We've got to be able to do multiple things at the same time. I mean, that's really been my mission. Is we're moving forward and, like I said, laying infrastructure, new water and sewer lines for new development. You have to be aggressive in continuing to attract new business to the city. And we've had, I've was on council for a number of years. We've had more interest in Dover in the last year than I can ever remember at any point from outside businesses. I'm going to continue to work. We spent more money on road paving and sidewalk replacement and all those kind of things than we've ever done in the past. And so I think we're going to continue working at those missions. But I'm also going to look for new opportunities. Partnering with our schools, partnering with the business community. Those are going to be my priorities. Really just moved Dover forward in a very positive manner.
Definitely investing in the city.
It's not just a new place. If he has these big ideas, you're working on it.
Absolutely. Like I said, unfortunately, so there's a few things I wish I could tell you more, but
I know
what it's like being realtors sometimes.
Of course.
That's amazing.
It's an anticipation for the audience of what's to come. It's exciting. It really is. That's awesome.
So with these plans, and if you are reelected, what do you anticipate in regards to the personnel or policies from the previous mayor's administration?
Well, so we've already taken a number of steps to really change the culture. Like that's been my, one of my missions since the day I walked through the door. We've added ethics training. We've required all of our employees to go through ethics training. We've done drug-free workplace training. We've done sexual harassment training. We've done safety training every month on a different area and a different aspect. We've added anti-nepotism policy. Again, we've pretty much redesigned our employee handbook. So I'm actively the employee handbook was probably 15 years old or 20 years old at that point, and it needed a good we needed a good look at all of our policies, and so that's really been something that we're doing now. More importantly to me, foster transparency for the residents of the city, and additional oversight. Every dollar or every purchase order, whether it's a dollar or $1 million, comes across my desk as it relates to city departments. That was something that, so I could put an extra set of eyes on it, right? That was something that previously wasn't occurring.
Sure, it's visibility.
So it it's added an additional layer of oversight. We've put all of our information online. We put all of our council meetings online to foster public trust, so they can tune in, they can see the meetings, or they can go see the recording later.
Yeah.
And all of our spending is now online. Every dollar that the city of Dover spends is available at the ohiocheckbook.gov, I believe is it.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
So we've done a significant amount of change to the culture. I've let it be known to my employees. We have City of Dover has 150 employees across 8 different departments, and it doesn't matter when or what you need. My door is always open. You're welcome to come in, and I've had employees come in that have brought some great ideas to the city, and so my job is to take those great ideas and find a way to make it happen.
I love that you are willing to listen to other people's ideas and utilize them and recognize that it's not just a one-man show, that it does take a team, and everybody can have a great idea at any time. I love that you keep that open-minded.
It has to be a team effort, and I've made it be known we are a team, and we're all in this together, and we serve the residents of the city of Dover, and that's our mission, and we need to do it together. So that's really been that's been a big culture change.
Servant leadership, absolutely.
That's so good.
As a leader, I think when anybody tries to implement change, though, there can be pushback. So, how was that? How did you work through that? What advice do you give for our other leaders in the community that have to implement changes?
I think certainly there were some people that weren't always receptive to the message initially.
Sure.
And so I feel like people buy in at different times. Sometimes you need to have a direct conversation with a few folks and explain why you're doing what you're doing, and that helps. But a lot of people, just by seeing positive results and saying, hey, look, this is working, we can do this together, and really encouraging people along. Not everybody's going to buy in on day one. That's not going to happen. So you just gotta work with each individual and just make sure that they understand the vision, they understand why you're doing what you're doing, and with time, I think we're to the point now where nearly everybody or everybody has bought into that vision within the city.
That's good. It's always a slow process.
It is.
And you've got to earn it.
Sure, you gotta earn it.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
So I was going to say, did you guys catch how it, even individually talking, or in a smaller group, addressing and having an open door policy? You don't want people to be scared to approach you because you're the mayor. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
So
I was the talk to shade.
I know.
I have residents that stop by a couple times a week sometimes, and they just want to tell me about something, something little, and we put it on we'll send an email to the right department and make sure it's gets taken care of. But to me, being there, being present, but more importantly, being available is the most important thing for our residents and our employees.
And following through with it.
Oh,
right.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. That's awesome.
So, let's just say the city grants you $1 million. How are you going to allocate?
Fun question.
This is a fun question.
Yes.
How are you going to allocate those funds, and why?
Ooh, that's a tough question, because
You
could
probably
go.
put 3 million things up
I
there.
could
Probably.
go. I could go 10 different ways with that, right? I mean, there's
Top priority, got to figure it out today, sir.
Oh.
Let's go.
So we we have a master plan,
Sure,
right? And
sure.
we have a list from each department.
Yep.
And when I walked through the door, I said, I want your top 5 items that you feel like you need to be successful in your department. And we have started plugging away at those. With that said, there's always more, right? Like, you know, the fire department would like a new truck, and we need a new ambulance, and we need to, redo some more water and sewer lines. And so we actually, this was real world. We actually did receive about $1.5 million from the federal government during stimulus.
Yeah.
And they basically said you could spend it one of about 10 different ways. And what I chose to do with that is let's do something that's going to lay the foundation for future growth of the city. So we did water and sewer and infrastructure work essentially with that money, extending it out beyond, to the edge of the city, past the edge of the city, to lay the foundation for what we hope will be future growth.
Absolutely.
So I would probably take that money and I would probably break it up. I could between a couple departments. I would certainly like to continue to invest in our emergency services.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to do some more infrastructure work because there's still we accomplished 2 or 3 of those 5 items, but we've still got a couple more.
It's like a honey to-do list, right? It just keeps.
You
mark them off and
check them off, and there's
going.
another. And that's a good thing. You're making progress. You're moving forward.
Of course.
And for me personally, I'm a guy that you can't pave enough roads. That's been a big priority of mine. The last 2 years, we spent a record amount on road paving because that was one of the consistent things we got back from our residents. And so I would love to, we've put a good dent in it, but there's still definitely a few more streets I'd like to target, and we will get to those in the year or 2 to come. So,
good.
Awesome.
But that would just make it that much more easier. So
It's so important. Oh my gosh, that makes me think. My husband took a trip to Michigan, to race, and he was like, the people complain about Ohio roads. He goes, that was terrible.
Yeah.
They were absolutely terrible. So rough on the vehicle.
It seemed like every time I've traveled to Michigan, it's like by the time you get back, your car needs some repair.
Seriously,
New alignments,
it was
right?
bad. It was so bad. So the infrastructure is so important. I know a lot.
And it just lays the foundation. So, for example, if you're going to put new housing in, you can't do it if you don't have water and sewer and roads.
Yeah.
Utilities.
If you're going to add a business, you can't do it if you don't have water and sewer and roads.
Correct.
And so those are. But again, I chose to take that money and target it into areas where we thought there was going to be likely future
investments.
expansion.
Yeah.
Expansion. So
Love
in the long run, the city continues to receive some benefit from that year after year.
Oh, for sure.
And possibly the common citizen doesn't realize you have to do that groundwork that isn't really producing a result right now as far as what the citizen's going to see.
But if you don't have it, it's
we're not going to go anywhere.
It's going to.
It's a long game.
It's definitely a long game.
Yeah.
That's where planning is.
Right.
Planning and knowing what you've done, in years past, and kind of where the trajectory is headed in certain parts of the community. All of that comes with experience, and so I was fortunate that spending that time on city council, I had that background to transition into the role of mayor.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's palpable.
Well, Mayor Gunnoe, the voters certainly have a very important decision to make. This coming Tuesday, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you as our guest today. We certainly wish you nothing but the very best, my friend. And with that being said, though, we can't let him off without the Think Different 30.
Oh,
okay. So, the Think Different 30 is a segment that is brought to you by Enter any small business, independent contractor, large business out there that wants the opportunity to advertise or have a sponsor opportunity with our podcast. So with that being said, we're going to take 30 seconds with Mayor Gunnoe here, and we're going to ask him some fun and interesting questions to get to know a little bit more about him. So
I am nervous now.
Oh,
you are going to be just fine.
This is the easy stuff.
He was not prepared for this, by the way.
Yes. None of them are. Okay.
Ricky, go ahead.
All right.
Here we go.
Mayor Gunnoe, favorite fast food chain?
Boy, that's hard. Wendy's.
Ooh,
I'll go with Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's good.
that's solid.
Favorite movie?
Oh boy, now this is really.
I know. It's a tough one.
How about Rocky?
I like it.
Good.
The boy. I like it. Yes. What album are you taking with you to a deserted island to listen to forever?
Ooh,
On repeat.
on repeat forever.
Yep.
Hashtag
Do-
millennial.
Do I have to? I don't know if I could do that.
One album.
It's either that or silence.
Right.
You know what? I don't think I got an answer
That
for
is
you.
a tough one.
That's all right.
That
That's
is all right.
What's your favorite TV show?
Oh, boy, I tell you what, I like I said, I'm a sports guy, so I usually
Football.
it's football.
Yeah.
Football.
I
you go.
love that.
And
Football's
who-
a
If
one
it's not
o'clock.
if it's not election season, I'm probably going to be watching football on a Saturday or
There
something.
you go. I like it.
Nice. And finally, who's the most interesting person you've ever met?
Oh, the most interesting person I ever met. Now let me think about that. Because I've met a lot of people.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, and a lot of them are
I'm sure.
very there's been a lot of very cool people. I met had the opportunity to talk with Karl Rove, who you may not remember, who was George Bush's
Of course.
campaign manager.
Yes, absolutely.
And was a very down to earth, genuine, seemed like a genuine person. That would be
Wow.
one. I've met Chris Matthews, you may remember from Hardball,
Yeah, absolutely.
or CNN. He was on for years.
Yes.
He was a journalist, a very interesting person. You know, gosh, it would be difficult for me to say. I was a bat boy. How about this? I was a bat boy for the Indians.
Wow.
There
Most
you
people
go.
did not know that.
Wow.
Actually, I was a
So
sports guy.
cool.
When I was little Shane,
Little Shane.
I got the
Little
opportunity
Shane out there.
to be a bat boy for the Indians, and the coolest person on that team, it was the early '90s.
Yes.
Charlie Nagy, the
Love
pitcher
Nagy.
for the Indians.
Great pitcher.
Great
Absolutely.
guy,
That's
nice
awesome.
guy. He
Yes.
was really nice to little Shane,
I love it.
10-year-old Shane, and that team was filled with good people.
Oh, loved him everywhere.
And I would say that because
Oh,
as
that's awesome.
as a 10-year-old, the opportunity, it was just for a few games, but as the
Oh, that's
10-year-old,
awesome.
as the opportunity to just be there and at
Be
the
around
end,
those guys.
your present was assigned baseball by the entire team.
Man.
That
Oh
was
my
that was
gosh.
a
Do you still
cool
have it to this
experience.
day?
I still have it. to
That's
this
awesome.
Day.
Nice.
Love it.
I could imagine being
Wow.
10 years old in the middle of, well, now Progressive Field, but
Yeah.
with Jacobs Field's
Yeah.
time, like just being there and looking up
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so
And
cool.
that would have been about 3 years later. They were in the World Series,
Mhm.
and
Oh, that's
it
incredible.
was a neat experience.
How did you get involved in that?
Yeah.
There was a contest
Okay.
that at the time Milk Duds sponsored,
Nice.
and
Great candy, by the way.
Love
and
Milk
you
Duds.
submitted your little form in, and lo and behold, I won.
Wow.
So,
That is
it was
awesome.
cool.
I
It
love
was
that.
cool. That was maybe that's where I became a sports guy.
How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, here's to hoping you have the same luck this coming Tuesday, Shane. It's been an absolute pleasure, my
Yeah.
friend. Thank you so
Has.
very much. A lot of fun.
Yes, your
Yeah.
energy
Yes,
is
thank you.
palpable.
This
That's
really
that's
is.
good. Yeah. Thank you for coming and visiting us this morning and kind of help launch our show.
Yeah,
Yes.
So appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity to be on. I wish you guys the best of luck with
Thank
the show.
you.
Thank you.
This has been really fun. So
Yes,
thank you.
yes,
Thank
it
you.
has. Thank you. Good luck Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. good
Yeah.
luck. Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Welcome back to the Overpriced Podcast. We have the pleasure today to bring you Mr. Colby Byrom. Mr. Colby Byrom, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Glad
Yes.
to be here.
Yes, we are so glad to have you, and I know that these last days really count. So the fact that you're giving us some of your time toward the end of that is just so we really appreciate it. You're helping us launch our first show, so it is a really big deal for us.
And speaking of shows, how did this come about? Overpriced Podcast.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
Ryan!
supposed to be answering the question.
Yes.
No.
So good. Not put him up to it. I promise. He's working on my vote already. With that being said, sir, that's a great question. Truth be told, at the end of the day, I think in any aspect of life, it is safe to say that just about anything anymore is overpriced in comparison to yesterday. And when you think about it, from the gas we put in our vehicles, to the vacations we go on, to the cost of a gallon of milk, a carton of eggs, everything in this world has gone up in price. And I think we all have an idea in our minds, especially just from our experiences growing up even, of what something should cost. And the purpose of this podcast really is going to be to help folks and encourage them to think different, to understand that really things aren't going to change. things are going to be, evolving, and the price of things are not going to go back down. And we just want to help our audience understand that.
Our first question that we have decided we want to go with is, how are you? How are you doing right now?
I'm doing great. A little nervous right now. A lot of things to do, not enough hours in the day.
Right?
Everything. So.
Right. Absolutely not. Well, then that leads us into this question. I know it's a very vague question, but who is Colby Byrom?
Oh, well, it's different. When you talk about overpriced podcasts, see, I'm stuck in a time warp.
That's
sure.
It's hard not to be.
I can remember when you could get 16 chicken wings for $1. Sugar was 50 cents a pound. And
I bet those were the days.
Oh, man.
And now I go to the grocery store. If I pick up something, I say, how bad do I really?
There you go.
Seriously, though, yeah.
But no, I grew up in Dover. I consider myself fortunate. I think I probably lived about 3 or 4 lifetimes,
Incredible.
So active in sports, baseball, basketball, football. I guess my main claim to fame, you guys probably never heard of the Dover Basketeers.
No,
sir.
I would love to hear more.
Tell
about
us more.
Yes.
It was a group of basketball guys, grade school guys, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and a guy named George Alford started them. He started out, they would do like little halftime shows imitating the Harlem Globetrotters and stuff like that.
Love it.
They would do halftime shows like Dover High School, Philly, and then they branched out. They were got invited to the Olympics over in Indiana, the Olympic basketball tournament.
Nice.
I got a chance to do that. Do some traveling. I got a chance to play in Madison Square Garden, Philadelphia Spectrum,
What an opportunity.
all those places. Flew back on a plane.
All right. So with that being said, we'll jump right into the next question, sir. How did you get to where you are today, running for mayor, sir?
Well, I guess the primary reason is just dealing with people, like I say, grew up in Dover. I've been here working on now. A lot of my friends are here in Dover. Most of my friends are here in Dover. A lot of their kids are my friends. And now I'm working on the grandkids. Haven't got to any great grandkid generate. Well, maybe one.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of friends, and we talk, and there's, a lot of angst about the political environment in Dover. Sure. People are dissatisfied, and people say what they ought to or we ought to. They should do this. They should do that. And I'm the kind of person, rather than sit back and talk about it, jump in and firsthand and try to rectify the circumstances.
Take action.
If I think they're that bad, to devote my effort.
Right. And sometimes most of the time, things are definitely easier said than done. People don't realize how many hoops you have to jump through to sometimes get their wants and needs,
And the reality is still setting in for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful.
Just having the gumption to try to make the change and stand with the people that want change. That's huge. And we need people like you to do those things.
Yes, absolutely.
Someone courageous enough.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a
I think
lot.
that's probably one of the most important key words to think about. Becoming mayor and helping run a city is the courage to do it. And I applaud that, sir. I really do.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So this will bring us to another question here. But, what would you do to attract more business, and investment into the city of Dover, sir?
That's a difficult question.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of times people ask the question, and the question's hard to answer. But the reason to make the question is hard to answer is because the lack of business may not be the problem.
Sure.
That may be a symptom. You know what I mean? Like they don't build any houses. And why don't they build more houses in Dover? That's not a problem. That's a symptom of the problem. The problem is you don't have any place to put them.
Right.
Where are you going to put them? I mean, if you want to attract some industry or something like that to Dover, my first question would be, where are you going to put the industry?
Sure.
And people want to say, well, I'll bring in a lot of industry. I'll bring in high-paying jobs. We're going to do this. I'm not making that statement because, like I say, industry, you have to have some place to put the industry. And Dover is not well equipped with, industrial parks and stuff like that, so.
Not a lot of extra room.
No room.
Yeah.
That would be, if you wanted to resolve that issue, that would be the problem that you want to work on, creating space to put industry. And I think the way that the state is growing, they're building the big chip industry down outside of Columbus and New Albany.
Okay.
And they're going to get a lot of residual business, like in Mount Vernon and places around that area. And there's no reason for, some of that residual business not to even trickle up this far. You can get on 36 and you can be to Columbus in an hour and a half or
That's
whatever, but basically you have to have some place to put them.
Right.
I don't want New Philly. I hate to harp on that.
No,
But they do have the campus there. They have Kent State Cup.
Yes, sir.
And if they wanted, to co-op or get a special class or do something that would be conducive to the, to that business, that's a very strong possibility.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, very.
I like that as a symptom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
a good.
It's a root cause, is it not?
Right.
He's digging deep into the root cause. And I also think he's being honest and transparent with the voters.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to say what everyone wants to hear. He's going to be honest and give us real feedback. So I appreciate that. Let me ask you this, though. In regards to that, though, how about the existing businesses, sir? What about the existing businesses? Is there anything you've done or would do to try to help the growth of the existing business, sir?
I think the first thing would be like a downtown revitalization to bring a little bit more life to Dover. There are places around, like right now it's so people, occupation wise, I think it's fine, but needs to be maybe just a little bit more revitalized to encourage people to come down there, to go downtown. Because I know when I was growing up, downtown, that was a big deal, go downtown. But I would like to do something to attract people back to downtown, to keep them here in Dover. People say, well, why don't we need good restaurants, and people drive to Canton, they go different places just to get something different. Yeah, and I think a little revitalization in downtown would be, good for Dover. And getting to the point now, you talked about gas. People don't want to pay, $3-4 a gallon of gas, drive to Canton, So if they could choose something here, have just as much enjoyment as they would have there, then that would be great.
Right, I definitely agree. So, just reinvesting into the downtown area, kind of giving it a facelift, making it a little more attractive, make people want to stay. That's a really, and you're right. I keep on telling my husband, if Philly keeps it up, I'm not gonna have to go to Canton anymore. I would love to see Dover get more stuff and kind of put money back into the downtown area.
Is there
investments back in the city.
Sure. Is there anything that sticks out when you said that, when you were a kid that you loved to go to downtown? What sticks out in your mind that why you loved it so much?
Well, I think the main thing was just the people.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah.
That's what Dover's all about. It's all about people. My friends, we've been friends for 50, 60 years, some even longer. But
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it.
and that was the thing, going to the restaurant. If you go to a restaurant, it was a nice restaurant, but you see people that there,
Right.
people and their kids, and it was just a good, healthy exchange.
I am so on board with that. I agree, because anymore with the social media at your fingertips, nobody mingles anymore.
Right.
Yeah, the
And
face-to-face.
we need to bring it back. I think it's so important that we need to bring that back. So very much on the same page as you, sir.
Absolutely. All right, awesome. Well, last question I have for you here, sir, is given the most recent tragedy in Maine, what strategies or any ideas do you have to help prevent, God forbid, something like that happening here?
Based upon my experience, like I've served on the Adams Board and the Community Mental Health Board, and there are a lot of people walking around here with illnesses or on medication that you probably would never suspect. Oh, he's fine. But medication runs out, it'd be a different story.
Sure.
So, and I think people are being diagnosed. It's a money thing. I'll cut to the chase. It's a money thing. You got the lobbies in there. You got these gun lobbyists. They don't care if somebody not in control of their faculties buys a gun, or a AK-47 or whatever. They don't care. As long as they're making money, they are happy. And it's gotten to the point, you talk about like the overpriced podcast.
Yes, sir.
It's getting to the point where money is taking the precedence over people's lives and happiness. People don't care what it's the end game. The end game is money, you know what I mean? Regardless of who they have to step on, who they have to hurt, who they have to take advantage of. And the sad part is, these are people that already have money. They just want more money.
Yeah,
More money, more money, more money.
Yes.
And that actually kind of ties into our first guest. We had Jennifer Schrock, the new one of the candidates for New Philly School Board.
Yes.
She is huge on tackling the mental health aspect too.
Yes, big priority.
To kind of provide a safer environment for the schools as well. So it kind of reminded me of what you just.
And like I say, these people are being identified, just like the gentleman in Maine. He was identified. He had no business being able to, to buy a gun.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What a tragedy.
Yeah, so terrible. So terrible. Wonderful.
If you are elected, Colby, what's the first thing you want to accomplish? This is on the top of my list. This is what I want to do for Dover.
The first thing I will do is I will put a table on the plan on the table. They say the biggest problem was, the mayor's not right. We need to get rid of the mayor. We need to do this. We need to do that. They battled 2 years or whatever, and it's an ongoing thing right now, dealing with that particular situation.
Right.
But there are remedies out there. The state has remedies. There are certain sections of the Ohio Revised Code. If people think that that's been a problem in the past, if they want to eradicate it, put it off the books for the future, they just have to pass this legislation that would put something in place where they could do that. Wouldn't be easy, but it would be a method in place to do that.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure does.
Which making change or improving things isn't always easy. Matter of fact, most of the time it's not easy.
Correct.
So you have to be willing to go out of the box and be like, this is what I'm going to do, and this
if it's how we're going to get here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need everybody's help and everybody on board.
Yes. Along with that, so do you anticipate any changes to policy or staff from the previous mayor's administration?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, no, I love.
Yeah, so
Take
not
chances.
a lot.
Yes.
Not a lot. There are probably some people that are retiring that plan on retiring. There's some people that doing a great job, and I would like to keep them in place. That's one thing I like about them. It's the people. The people that are there working is because they're caring. They have a sense of responsibility. Not only job responsibility, but their parents are out in public. Their parents, run into other people and, hey, your son didn't do this, or I had a problem, and your son works over there, and they didn't take care of it. They didn't handle it. So it's a lot of peer pressure, a lot of family pressure on people. So they're really being held accountable.
Yeah, I'm sure that the peer pressure thing is definitely holding true. Probably feeling it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that is one thing I do applaud you for. You're very open about acknowledging the previous problem that, Dover was facing with, it's no secret, but that's
Previous
one thing.
Administration.
Yeah,
understandable.
I definitely that's one thing I did find yesterday.
Yeah, and I mean, you
Mr.
mentioned
Colby
too.
Byrom is not afraid to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, that's a good thing.
one of the things that you've quoted too is you want to get Dover back on the right track again.
Yes.
As simple as that. No matter what it takes, what you have to do, you want to get things going to back where they were.
Correct.
So if elected and you're trying to make these changes, what type of leadership style do you anticipate on using to help people get on board? Because we all know it's not going to happen day one.
Right.
So how are you going to encourage people to see your vision for the long run?
Basically, it's not my vision. It's everybody's vision.
Okay.
I'm just incorporating their views. And that's one reason I have an immense amount of support. I have a lot of people backing me. You know what I mean? I have people backing me that I never would have thought would be, backing me. And it encourages me and helped me to go on. But my main thing is it doesn't need to be an authoritarian type government. You know what I mean? You need more involvement, people involvement at various levels, rather than people having a situation come up and they have to go to city council and fix it. Why not fix it before it gets that far? I applaud the council president, Justin Perkowski. Some people were up there complaining to, city council and that. And he said, that is a problem, but why did you wait this long? If you knew it was a problem, why didn't you go to so-and-so? But there are avenues to resolve issues rather than to let them keep festering and festering. But I think a lot of people were reluctant to stick their head up or to complain or whatever, because it puts a target on their back. Mm-hmm. Not only target on their back, I have friends that would love to support me, but I don't get their support.
Oh.
I can't. I love to support you, but my daughter works at so and so. My son works at so and so, and basically it's a fear factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I become mayor, I don't want that to be a problem.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I want to just deal with things the way they are. I don't want to have to chastise someone because their parent or their, or grandparent said something detrimental or, contrary to my belief. No, that's fine. Let's lay it out there. Put it on the table.
The core values.
Talk about it. Yeah.
I mean, the core values of what our world used to be.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
There's nothing wrong with having a difference in opinion.
No, not at all.
Having that level of respect for one another, it's imperative for us as a society. And we're going to branch into that in an upcoming episode, actually. But at the end of the day, I think it's just, it's so important to be respectful of one another's opinion, to see their point of view, to see and understand, but most importantly, to coexist.
Exactly.
What's wrong with coexisting and having a difference of opinion without fearing you'll lose a friendship or a family member friendship? That's not the way it should be. And again, that's part of our purpose here, is to help people think different and to maybe not have that fear.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
Yes.
The city
segment is brought to you by Enter the independent contractor, small business or big business that may have some interest in sponsoring and or advertising with us. Please do not hesitate to reach out because the opportunity is there. With that being said, let's jump right into the Think Different 30.
He's gotten really good at that segue. That's good.
And that's Ryan's favorite.
It is Ryan's favorite part. We love this section. Okay, Colby. Favorite fast food chain?
All right.
Oh, nice.
Popeye's chicken, yes. How about, is there a favorite actor?
Yeah, there is a favorite actor. He plays in a lot of good movies. He played Malcolm X, and he played
The GOAT, ladies and gentlemen.
Who?
I know where he's going with it. Go ahead, sir. The pleasure is yours.
he is a great actor. So
Who is it?
Training Day.
Training Day, yes.
Hurricane Carter.
Hurricane Carter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington. One of the best.
Give it up.
My personal favorite, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I can't think of the name of the movie he played, but he was
John Q.
No, this is not one of his most famous movies, but it was a good acting movie.
Oh, man, there are so many that.
Yes.
What is that?
Training Day is my absolute favorite of Denzel.
I like Training Day because
is incredible.
You don't picture him having that character, and he's acting.
Yes,
and he does a good job of.
He earned those Academy Awards for that movie. That was outstanding.
I'm thinking it's Blue Velvet or something like that.
In case you haven't caught him yet, but I'm sure you did, but he just started The Equalizers.
I love those.
Equalizer 3 just came out.
I saw that. After a while, they I like 1, I like 2.
1 and 2 were the best. I agree.
But 3,
the storyline, they were in Italy overseas. Storyline kind of drug out a little bit, but I tell you what, anything with Denzel, you just have such an appreciation for it, and just an incredible person, great individual. He's very inspirational too.
He is.
You know,
one of the things he said that when you go to bed at night, put your shoes way under your bed so that when you wake up in the morning and you're on your knees praying, pulled him out.
I love
but
that.
he is. I admire him for his character. I mean, he's been
Absolutely.
with his wife forever. A lot of movie stars, you know.
They don't
Right.
do that.
No, they
so
don't
much
do
not the
that.
cool thing to do.
No,
yeah,
right,
in Hollywood.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez, people in general.
yeah. It is sad.
Sometimes,
My man, Denzel Washington. Yes, sir. I love it. All right. Cool. You're not kidding. How about a favorite album, sir? Is there a favorite album out there?
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. See, back in the day.
Yes,
Back
sir.
in the day, I did work for a radio station.
Okay.
And it was the number one radio station in the country, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
AM was. I worked on FM. They made enough money on the AM side that FM was kind of freewheeling, and it was like rock and roll, and it was back. I don't want to say about Stones and
Sure.
Eagles and all that.
course.
It
Yeah.
just getting started, and Sticky Finger sticks up there with me, but I also like some of the jazz albums, smooth jazz,
Sure.
Yeah.
smooth jazz like that.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I mean, I am a saxophonist.
Are you
Oh,
really?
right.
Okay.
Yes.
How about that interesting fact? All
Bring
right.
it in one day and play for us.
Right, just for fun.
A whole
I
hour
respect
of Ashley
that.
speaking saxophone.
We got some sound bites.
Kenny G.
Yeah.
G.
Yep, my grandmother loved Kenny G.
Yeah.
Yep,
Wow.
yep. So I grew up with that.
He was on
special
SpongeBob
spot in my
once.
heart.
Do you make me think your grandmother was
That's funny.
Davis?
Hilarious.
No, she was.
That's awesome.
That's a friend of mine. His
Wow.
grandmother liked him. She was, she was
Yeah.
a Davis, and she loved,
Wow.
Kenny G. So,
Yes.
as a matter of fact, at her funeral, that's what they played.
Okay, so I was getting ready to say that, then I was like, is that weird to say? But yes,
Yeah.
at her funeral, yes, that's
Wow.
what
That's
she
your
requested.
grandmother?
That's what she wanted done. Is she wanted that played at her funeral? So that's
Yeah.
very coincidental.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah.
And then finally, who's the most interesting person you've ever met?
The most interesting person I have ever met. I sure had some tough ones. They're easy.
I know.
So many people you
Yeah.
probably met
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
very interesting life.
Wow. I guess I would have to say that would have to be one of the professional athletes.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
I guess it would have to be Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
He was
Mr. 100. He had 100 points in a game once.
he was different.
No way.
Yep, he was different, and he was very talented, kind of down to earth in some respects, too down to earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he came when I was at college. He came in his later years after he finished playing professional basketball. He became a professional volleyball player, and they traveled, all over. When I was at Capital University, he had a volleyball tournament there. And I got a chance to meet him and bring back, say, well, you remember, you met me about so many years ago. I was on this little group of guys. Yeah.
It's awesome.
But yeah, he was.
Cool.
These people and the influence they have on us.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that amazing, though? I mean,
Yeah.
folks, especially the folks of Dover, Ohio, what a challenging vote they have coming this Tuesday. As we had the pleasure to just sit down with Mr. Colby Byrom, as well as Mr. Shane Gunnoe, and two outstanding candidates. But Mr. Byrom, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, it's
This
been
has
awesome. This has been so.
It has.
I loved it. Thank you so
Right.
much for coming.
Just
and-
enlightening and a lot of
So
good insight.
personable. Thank you. for
Yes,
Yes.
just chill and fun, and thank you.
Wow. That is a wrap, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
it.
Thank you again
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
tuning in to the Overpriced Podcast.